Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon, and today I want to talk a little bit about what's recently happened with Phoenix in the community and why you may have seen a lot of people mad in the community about Phoenix and how she's unlocked. Now, I know before I left originally, I talked a lot about the things I didn't like about the game. I complained a lot, and that's not something I really like to do because it's not really something you want to be known for, like the complainer. And I'm not really complaining about this either because it doesn't bother me as much as the rest of the community. I'm not saying the rest of the community shouldn't be bothered. I'm going to talk about why they are bothered, but this isn't something that I'm like, ooh, it's something that I'm telling you guys about, so that way you know why the community's mad, and that way you guys can get the full story. So I'm going to start out here on msf.gg just so I can show you guys a couple of things, and then I'll just put some gameplay in the background for you guys to be visually engaged while you're audibly engaged by my talking. So Phoenix, we knew she was going to be unlocked by Mystic, Villain, Controllers. Now you might be like, wow, that's a really weird set of characters. Well, the reason why they did that, it's actually kind of, there's not even a way on msf.gg. There might be a way on msf.gg. So Controllers, so okay, that limits it a good amount. So now Mystic, oh good, so you can. All right, and then only Villains. So these are the 5 characters you can use to unlock Phoenix. Now, this is a really weird set of characters, no association with Phoenix, but the reason why they likely did this is because they assumed most people in the game did not have these characters built up. Mordo, only available in Arena, so not a lot of people have him built up all too high, but he is a good character, so some people do have him up reasonably high. Loki just recently got a campaign node, and he's pretty far into the Mystic campaign, so he's kind of hard to get. Nobu, only 1 campaign node to farm, and no one's really been farming him because he's kind of not that great. Ronan the Accuser, I actually have him at 7-star because he's been in raids, and I keep on getting. I've never actually intentionally farmed a Ronin shard in my life, but I've gotten him so many times out of orbs that I now have him at 7-star. But nobody's really built Ronin until recently because he was garbage up until recently, and now he's pretty good with the Kree characters. Hand Assassin, another character many people don't have built up, but she is pretty farmable. She does have 2 nodes, but no one's ever farmed Hand Assassin because she's not that great. So the community heard about this, and this was actually, it seemed bad at first, but the veterans were pretty happy because once they found out that these were the 5 characters they needed, they were like, what the heck? Like, those characters are so weird. And then they looked in their roster and like, hey, but wait a second, I have Ronin at 5-star, I have Mordo at 5-star, I have Nobu at 5-star, and I have Hand Assassin at 5-star. The only character I really need to build up is Loki. A lot of veterans started to look at the roster and like, I'll actually be able to get Phoenix the first time around because Spider-Man, those characters were required when we wanted to get the most recent legendary character, Shuri, and those characters had just come out. That's why they made them the requirements for Shuri's legendary event, because no one had the Spider-Man characters built up. For this, they tried to pick these 5 characters because they assumed most people didn't have them built up, but a lot of people did have them built up. When we saw Phoenix was in the game, they accidentally put her out in the game along with Cyclops for a couple of days, maybe more like a couple of hours, but we could see Phoenix was 310 shards to unlock, just like every other legendary character, which means she's a 5-star unlock. So that means you need to get those characters up to 5 stars to unlock them. That just been the base of how every character was unlocked in this game. That's how legendary events work. That's the unwritten rule. It's 5 stars to unlock them. Then just today they come out and say, hey, just want to let you guys know, we told you Mystic, Controller, Villain, Phoenix is actually a 6-star unlock. You need them all at 6-star to unlock her. So this really frustrates the community because they moved the goalpost here, and it's more than just that they moved the goalpost, but it's that some people were gonna get Phoenix. They didn't tell us originally, hey, she's 6-star when they first put out the requirements for Phoenix, probably because it was 5-star, and that's just, they didn't think they'd have to tell us that because that's how it always is. When Shuri came out, they weren't like, hey, 5-star Spider-Man character. There's just like Spider-Man characters because everyone knows they needed to be a 5-star. That's probably why when they first put out the announcement, they didn't say the characters need to be 6-star. But from how it appears from our end, they saw that a lot of veterans were going to be able to get Phoenix the first time around. They're like, so they made the requirement 6-star. That way most of those veterans would still have to farm out these characters and spend money to unlock Phoenix. So it's pretty bad when people were thinking they were going to get Phoenix, and now they learned I mean, 5-star to 6-star is a pretty significant jump in terms of shards. So it's pretty sad that some of those people can't get Phoenix now when they thought they did. But what's worse is when they don't tell us that originally. You know, a lot of people did spend money on buying Loki shards or refreshing Nobu nodes because they thought, hey, I just need a little bit more to get them to 5-star so I can unlock Phoenix. Well, now these people had spent, I've seen people that spent thousands of cores on trying to bump these characters up to 5-star so they'd be able to get Phoenix the first time around. And now that the requirement's 6-star, those cores were useless to spend because these characters, I mean, you're not going to get Phoenix. They need to be at 6-star now. So they just moved the goalpost on us. They did not communicate effectively. And now some people are out cores, and some people just, they're like, why? You know, why would you do that to us, FoxNext? Well, we know why. It's because they want money. But that just, it kind of feels scummy from our end. And now this is a common thing for FoxNext to move the goalpost. They did buff one of the campaigns recently, from what I understand. Again, I had a pretty big break around when the Captain Marvel patch came up until most recently, so I'm not too aware of what everything was like around that time span. And they did just recently buff the beta raids, also from what I understand. So again, we can see FoxNext is sort of moving the goalpost as we go along this game. Now, I personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I sort of understand why they move the goalposts a little bit in raids. You know, it's not a huge boost in raids. It's like a 10-20% increase in the power of some of those like people you're fighting. I think it makes sense if they increase the rewards along with that. I think that'd be a better way to do it. But at the end of the day, you know, maybe you can't 100% the raids like you used to. You know, I'm not too invested in the raids. I don't mind them, like, oh, well, I mean, that's not so nice of you guys, but I'm not really bothered by that because it's a little more behind the scenes. It's a little harder to see. You know, it's a little harder to feel that change unless you already were getting 100% of those raids and now you're getting bumped down. If that's the case, sorry about that. That's kind of unfortunate, but I wasn't anyway, so I'm like, oh. But this is very easy to see, and it's very feelable from the community. You know, it's very visible, and the community is very capable of realizing they got ripped off whenever flat out they're just like, that 5-star, it's now 6-star, so now you guys need to work even harder. And that's why you're gonna see so many people are frustrated right now on the Reddit about Phoenix and how she's unlocked. And on top of that, as of when I'm recording this video, the community manager has not gone back to us about why this is the case. So the TLDR, FoxNext put out a requirement to unlock Phoenix. Turns out everyone already had that requirement, so they made the requirement even harder. And this does scare the community because, say in the future, you know, they go back and then we have so many SHIELD characters and Avengers characters that Iron Man's so easy to unlock now. Who's to stop them now from going back and saying, hey, now you can't use these characters to unlock Nick Fury? Or what's stopping them saying, hey, from here on out, you need to have these characters at 7-star to unlock Nick Fury or stuff like that? And that just scares the community a bit, and it's unnecessary. And that's the Phoenix Fiasco. So again, guys, not really me complaining about this issue because I was nowhere close to unlocking Phoenix anyways. My Loki's like 2-star, but I'm just more reporting to you guys so that way you can be aware of what's happening in the community. But with that being said, what do I know? I am just a 17-year-old. Signing off, guys.